What's up, everybody? It's me, Majora. Out here feeling a little chilly, but that's why I have a cup of tea and some NES games to warm me up. You know, nothing warms the hands like really jiggling the NES card out of the console, as I'm growing to learn and appreciate. Thank you, Brian. If you appreciate NES games, well, you've come to the right place. I'm on a quest to rank my collection as I collect them and learn about the unit. Be sure to subscribe for more Nintendo ranked content. We'll keep it nice and rank up in here. So, last time I ranked my first 5 NES games. This time I rank my second. NES games 6 through 10. What are they? Find out. Here we go. First up, one of the Tylord specials. It's Jaws. Jaws is special. I did not expect this game to be any good. I'm going to be completely honest. I thought it was going to be some licensed garbage, but it's actually decent. You go around floating around as a boat, and then you're basically Scuba Steve, and you go for these treasures on the ocean floor. And every so often you run to the big Jaws himself, and that's the parts where I start to get a little lost, because Jaws is like basically indestructible. You barely hit him in his health meter, and I don't really know what I'm doing in those segments. In fact, I do need the guide for this. So right now, this is kind of lower on the tier list. I'm not exactly enthralled to go back to it, but it's very functional. It is a decent game. I will give it that. C. That's what I'm thinking. It is a solid C. Jaws. That's my best Jaws impression. Let's go to, let's get the shit out of the way, all right? So this is another Tylord special. Thank you, Tylord, so much for RBI Baseball. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I suck so bad at this game. It is beyond me. So RBI Baseball is exactly as it sounds. A baseball, arcadey style game for the NES. Pick your team, you play the outfield, and you play at bat. Well, I guess when you say the outfield, it's the outfield and the infield. You're either up at bat or you're playing defense. And I have problems with both. So let's start when you're up at bat. You know, it's 3 strikes, you're out, and 3 outs, the other team goes up. The pitcher pitches the ball so fast, and in that time, I'm just trying to figure out where to even stand at home base. So I end up striking out 2 out of the 3 guys. One of them I get 1 base if I'm lucky, maybe a home run if I'm really lucky, and then it's next inning. So I'm not very good at bat. Even worse in the outfield. So the way it works in the outfield is you play as the pitcher, and you pitch the ball, and the computer player at bat is more than likely to hit the ball, in which case you play the outfield and you have to try and catch the ball. The problem is you don't know which guy you're controlling in the outfield till it pop flies, and then you see. And from there, you don't exactly know where to run to catch the ball. So I have a very hard time catching pop flies in the outfield. That's not even the end of it. You have to throw it to the right base. So in order to do that, you have to press on the right directional pad. Up is second base, right is first base, left is third base, and down is home base. It works kind of doesn't work. And some of the hardest ones are when you catch it in kind of like the infield area within the bases, because you catch it, but the guy might be running for your base, and you try and throw it, and you basically throw it to a baseman. I just haven't figured it out. I don't understand it. It's cute aesthetic. I suck so bad at it, and you game over if they get 9 points. So I game over in second inning. I give this one a game over. You get D tier, buddy. Thank you, though, Tyler. It's cool. It's a cool experience. This is a much cooler experience, this one. I have had an appreciation for Rareware, company behind Banjo-Kazooie, but I don't know a lot about their NES history. Well, they did have a pinball game on the NES. Pinbot. I believe this is a Williams arcade table, and this is the NES version of that table, and it is a decent translation to the console. It's actually a pretty unique pinball experience. It's pretty simple, but at the same time kind of out there. It's got this whole sci-fi aesthetic Look closely and you will see different colors in the middle of the table. They're these kind of like, it looks like on a radio when the bars start moving. And if you hit all the bars, the middle of the table opens up and all these crazy sci-fi effect things go on. You can basically hit the ball in the middle to get double ball, or the lights will flicker on, and all like these sci-fi sound effects cue. It's a very interesting game. A fun game to just kind of play for a couple minutes, get a high score in. Does it leave a bit to be desired? Yes. Honestly, the view takes a bit of getting used to. The flippers are always in view, but the table itself, kind of the view changes. You don't see the whole table. Makes sense. You kind of want a close up. I don't hate how it looks. I get used to it. And come beat my high score. I'm past 2 million, motherfuckers. So, yeah. No, I'm into it. I'm into Pinbot. It is pretty awesome. I like it. That's a decent game to have in your NES collection. And a decent Rareware game. You know, I can't always say that about all their library. All right, another really cool game, one that I'm getting into for the first time, and I'm appreciating the hell out of it. It is Star Tropics. So I thought it was an American game, but it's a Japanese game that only released in North America. Some confusion there. Basically Zelda for Americans. The main guy's name is Mike, and I guess it's in the tropics or whatever, so you meet, you know, people in the islands. Maybe it's in Hawaii or something, I don't know. But there's a pretty cool contrast between overworld and, I guess I'll call them monster layers, dungeons. They're like underneath the towns that you go to. What I like about it is, on the overworld, it's kind of just overworld exploration, no like RPG stuff. Although there is some like story maneuvering, and I'm kind of lost right now in the second chapter. But the dungeons are really good. They're kind of puzzle based. You go hopping across platforms. If you just watch gameplay, it's not going to make any sense. But when you start playing it, you get into it. Basically, within every room, there's a hidden trigger that opens up the door to the next room. Or maybe it's defeating all the enemies in the room. And I really like the sense of adventure in the dungeons. And it's decent combat. It reminds me of Zelda in some senses, but in a well-performed way. Playing through the first dungeon, I did not get confused. Now, in the overworld, I'm stuck. So I have to give this a tentative rating. I'm not, like, fully into it. Okay, so, like, I unlocked dive for the submarine, but I have no idea where to dive. And I'm getting codes that are years in American history that are significant, like 1776, 1492. I got through some of it. I don't understand all of it. So I'm hesitantly giving this a B if this kind of progression continues, where I'm just confused. But it has potential to be A or even S material. So I really do appreciate Star Tropics right now. I hope to get more into it. Last one, 10th game. This is a banger. This is a must-have on the NES. And I don't say that lightly. Tetris. Now, is Tetris a simple game? Yes, absolutely. And I would have thought, who needs Tetris? Everyone knows what Tetris is. But the NES one is pretty unique. So, first off, the visual aesthetic and then the audio, the sounds that you hear are distinctly NES style. This has a beautiful, retro, kind of vector-looking gameplay. Like, it looks beautiful. It's so good. I can't get over it. And then the soundtracks feel like they are specifically designed to be played with a Nintendo chip sound effects in mind. So there's 3 sound selections. So you pick your track and they loop, but then they pick up when, the blocks start to reach the top. And it's pretty good. I like this little logo thing here too, from Russia with fun. It is fun. It is a, classic Tetris, but at the same time, it has its own unique things that I'm not used to. Maybe I'm used to like baby mode Tetris, where you can infinitely flip the block when it's on the ground level or against the walls. In this version, you can only turn it if it's in like the middle of the screen. Once it's down, it's down. Or if you're on the side of the wall, you can't maneuver that way. There's also 2 game modes. One is just your standard kind of marathon mode, and then the other is more of a puzzle-based one where you have to clear the screen within a certain number of blocks. Reminds me of Dr. Mario in some senses. But this is just what the doctor ordered. It's a phenomenal game, and one that you really should have for your NES. Loads of fun. You play it infinitely. I had a great time. So that's it. Oh, this is S tier. So that's it for the NES games this time. Where do you stand? How would you rank these games? Do you rate them as high or as low as I do? Let me know in the comments below. and have yourselves an awesome day. See you next time.